Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to open up this video with quite a dramatic statement, which is I've given up. But in a good way, I think. I've accepted that my dreams of becoming a screenwriter slash filmmaker might never come true. Ever since I've done so, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. I felt that kind of satisfaction you'd normally feel after trying to hold your breath for a very long time, and then releasing it. We tell people to dream big, but we never teach them how to deal with the severe disappointment that will inevitably follow after those dreams come crashing down. There's just emptiness left afterwards, numbness. So you fill that void by going again. And that's absolutely fine. You should have perseverance. Third time's the charm. But what if you've tried 100 times and you're still not even a tiny bit closer to reaching your goal? How do you know when's the time to stop, let go, and move on to something different? How many failures does it take to acknowledge the fact that the universe might be trying to send you a message, send you a sign? Maybe the path that you thought was so perfect for you isn't that perfect after all. These days, so many motivational speakers tell you to just keep pushing at whatever cost, and I personally think that's a very dangerous narrative. But don't lose all hope just yet, because if you choose to move on to something else, this divergence does not have to be permanent. That's the beauty of it. And I will talk about it a bit later, but for now, I'd like to take a little break to say thank you to the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp. And before I move on to describing the service itself, I would like to just mention that I've been using the service myself for I think 6 or 7 weeks now. Yeah, and it's been absolutely wonderful. Now, some of you may have noticed that I've been going through some stuff recently, especially if you follow me on Instagram, and it's not been easy. And I have to say that just having a therapist to make you feel seen, to make you feel like you're not going insane, to make you feel like it's not all your fault, like you're not making it up, that's absolutely wonderful. I don't think I struggle with a specific mental disorder right now. I do have bouts of anxiety, maybe a bit of generalized anxiety disorder every now and then. But I don't think I struggle with anything in particular. But still, I have so many negative thoughts on a daily basis. There is so much stress, so much anxiety. I struggle with a narcissistic parent, and it's been absolutely wonderful to be able to just, find someone that, as I've said, makes you feel seen and makes you feel like you're just not going crazy. You're not making things up. Now, a little bit about the service. BetterHelp will assess your needs through a little test at the very beginning, and they will match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating within 48 hours, and it's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it is professional therapy done securely online, available worldwide. There are over 20,000 therapists in BetterHelp's network, and I always say, I've said that so many times before to you guys, but I always say that finding a therapist is like dating. You usually will not find the right person on the first date. And with BetterHelp, you can simply change therapists free of charge straight away. I'm actually talking to my second therapist right now, but I have to say I only switched because my first therapist really helped me with a narcissistic abuse. However, there was something else really important coming up for me, which I don't want to discuss because it's a bit private, but I said thank you to my first therapist, and then I switched. And I switched to someone who specializes in whatever the issue is most prevalent for me right now. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist, but you can of course also schedule a video or a phone session. It's all done online, so you can skip the awkward traditional therapy waiting rooms. I know many of you who have social anxiety will definitely appreciate that, and it's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. You can visit betterhelp.com/Katna Pirkowska if you want to get a 10% discount for your first month. There will be a link in the description if you want to check it out. I'm so sorry for how cliche this next part might sound, but you know what? The thing about cliches is that we hear them, we cringe, feel bad inside, and then automatically our brain decides to ignore them, and then we ultimately forget them. If you're struggling on your current path, it might simply be that you're not ready. I know it's incredibly difficult to let go of your passion, but maybe there is another route you have to take first. A different direction that can teach you something that will make you excel at your one true calling. There's something missing that you don't know about just yet. Maybe there are other people that you need to meet down that alternative road. In the spiritual community, we say that it's divinely guided. I love that phrase. It makes me feel like everything makes sense. Even when I struggle really, really bad, everything makes sense. This is the way it's meant to be. It's divinely guided. I've certainly found that to be true in regards to my own journey. I ping-ponged from one thing to the other just to discover that what I thought was the final destination was merely a harbour. Every time I thought, this is it, it wasn't. At that time, I didn't realize that I was actively creating a web of interconnectedness. You can't just jump from a teenage photographer to a 33-year-old screenwriter in the making. I mean, maybe you can, but for me, it had to be a journey that is taken step by step. From photos to cinematography. I stayed there for a little bit, but when the visuals were not enough, I found something I wanted to speak up about, which, of course, was mental health. That led me to write my first more serious video, which I'm sure many of you know, Living with Depression. I then created a few more of those while exploring the human condition along the way, and that made me realize that I want to bring relief to all the struggling souls around the world through my filmmaking and screenwriting. I myself have gone through quite a bit of pain, to put it mildly, throughout my life, and I refuse to believe that it happened for no reason at all. I don't think my videos would be the same if I did not suffer as much as I did throughout my life. So I really don't want that suffering to go to waste, but that's a topic for a completely different video. I believe that if I ever do end up as a screenwriter/director, I will have a much better understanding of filmmaking as a whole, because I have to do photography, cinematography, editing, color grading, light, sound, writing, wardrobe, the research, and acting actually. This process is not always rainbows and butterflies, sadly. I realized after a very, very long while that what I'm doing on YouTube is simply not working. And seeing how they push quantity over quality just broke my heart. But then, I thought maybe I should try that too. And so I lowered my standards to be able to create multiple videos a week. I worked and I worked and I worked, but nothing came of it. Y'all, I literally failed at selling out. How pathetic is that? Oh my days. Wow. I mean, yeah, that was the final nail in the coffin. And I'm sure many of you struggle with the very, very same thing. Just wanting to create art pieces that have wonderful, beautiful quality, but still, the internet just pushes you to do this fast food stuff, and that makes you incredibly unhappy. And you're still not successful, even when you try and do that, because this is not what you were made for. You were made for good, beautiful art. Now, as sad as this is, I need you to realize that if you pursue something for years but it never works out, whether it's financially or in terms of recognition, and you don't know when to take a step back, if you just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, you will inevitably burn out and become incredibly resentful towards something that you used to love. Worst thing you can do is try to lower your standards and try to keep up with the trends. I did that and I ended up disappointed, absolutely hating my passion. The good news is you do not have to abandon your journey forever. You just need to take a little detour. So many times I've told myself, this is it, I'm done, never making videos ever again. If I struggle financially, even though I put in so much work into my videos, what's the point? This is a very, very draining way of living. And then, of course, after a very long break, I always come back. I'm sure that many of you who have followed me on YouTube for quite a while have seen me be overly dramatic and quit YouTube at least 4 times now. So, yeah. And I think that's a quality shared by many of us, dare I say, artists. It doesn't matter how many times we failed. It doesn't matter how long the break is. It does not matter how resentful we've grown towards our passion. We might step back for a little bit. We might even try to quit. But we will always feel the need to pick up that pen again, pick up that brush, pick up that camera, that guitar or that microphone, sit at that piano, buy all of those groceries that we need for another recipe if we want to become the best chef in the world. But I truly think we would save ourselves a lot of suffering if we knew when to take a step back before we burn out. If things aren't working, let go for a while before you start hating what you currently love. Do something a bit less challenging for a living. Go work at a simple job, find some inspiration, recharge, and then go again. I think what I want to say here is that if you get tired, learn how to rest instead of quitting for good. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Take care.